Hi guys, how are you doing? Greetings from Mexico. I'm aurena.fohler. I'm the admin of the Arcturian group. I'm a Starseed, of course. I'm a healer and seer. I can see energies. I can see energy patterns. That's one of my gifts, and I'm a heart opener. It's like a very typical thing when starseeds go to a place, things shift, things move. And then you're like exhausted and tired, and you're like, what the heck is going on? But what you do is you have naturally a very high vibration, and when you go to places with low vibration, things start moving. That's something. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it can be exciting and new. I guess that's what life is. It goes up and down like a roller coaster, and it's up to us if we go with the wave like a surfer, or if we go against the wave and we drown. So that's when we're exhausted. Hi Ras, hi Scott, hi, nice seeing you. So today I would like to talk about something which happened. Hi Trini, kind of LGBT, womanhood, manhood, what is natural, what's going on in the world. And something, maybe if you can recognize a pattern. I'm like really good in recognizing patterns. It's like I get out of what's going on and I observe it from above or from the side, and then I'm like, wow, there are different stories to one thing. The other day I went to the beach and a man came towards me, and I saw he's not Mexican, he's from another country. So he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. And the most beautiful thing here is you can just smile at people, and they smile at you, and it's just a beautiful thing I love and I enjoy, which you cannot do in all countries. So freedom is the key word, right? Free will. So this guy starts talking, oh, you're looking beautiful, and then it's so weird. It's like we just met like a few seconds, and he starts talking about that he left Canada and that he's living here. And that there's LGBT and men are saying they want to be pregnant. And then I noticed that he's like getting into this, like they call it rabbit hole, but I call it rabbit hole because I don't like it. It's like very low vibrational, always talking about conspiracy theories, you know what I mean. So, and then I shifted the energy and I said, yeah, but see, the beautiful thing is that we are here on this planet and we have a free will, and it's up to us that we embrace what's natural. So now he, she, who, whatever, I don't care, to be honest. I know I'm a woman by birth. I know there are men by birth, and there are something which is in between, which have been honored the whole entire, I don't know, 100 years, thousands of years, which were the eunuchs in China and in the Middle East. Those were men, and the testicles and the penis got cut off, okay, and they became eunuchs, but for a reason, which was an honorable thing. Like they were not allowed, like let's say you were in a harem and there were thousands of women, and one king had like thousands of queens, and of course he can't sleep with all of them. So many felt very lonely, many had to sleep with each other, which were lesbian. Today you would say it's being a lesbian. I'm talking about this because it belongs to the Starseed community. This is something which we need to educate people about. Why is something the way it is? There's a reason, right? But before we say, hey, you, and bad, and this and that. So women had to sleep with each other because they have an urge, they have a craving, right? But the eunuch, he is traumatized. Most of them, they died because that was not done by being a child. That was when they were actually much younger, right? Some even had to go through this procedure when they were adults, and just imagine, there were no surgeries such as like we have hospitals now. So those men had to look and interact with those women and honoring the king, and the king had, I mean, it's one man, you can't sleep with 1,000 women at a night or every, like in 3 days or 4 days. So some women were very lonely, and this eunuch was traumatized. Those women were lonely, had some craving. So now just imagine they're dying, and in the next life the eunuch is traumatized being a man because this happened to him, and those women they died knowing that they're going to be only with women, they're not going to be with some other man in this entire next life, right? This is like something, a soul, there's a soul contract, and there's a memory which is in the cell, in the DNA, and also the soul has a memory, right? So this is something you can explain if someone, when they are gay or they feel like they're not in the right body or something is going on, there's a reason for it. So now there's something which is, I call it a trend. It's like even COVID was a trend in my eyes. I remember till today when I was 2 or 3 years ago and I spoke about COVID, I spoke about the vaccine and this and that, that people were really angry with me doing that. And right now I'm doing the same thing, and it was a trend, and it was a hype. It was, people were scared, people were manipulated, and now it's the same thing with LGBT. It's like few people are transgender, but at the same time it's just a huge hype that this minority becomes such a big thing that it shifts a lot what's going on in the society. So now, so this guy spoke to me, and then he started all of a sudden full of hate. He's like, oh, but the women who have a lot of tattoos and they run around like whores. And then I'm like, wow. And I said, so how do you know I'm not one? Oh, look at you, you're looking so beautiful. I said, yeah, but just because I have a tattoo doesn't mean anything, you know, it doesn't mean anything. And I said, in the end of the day, like, I'm born in Germany, we have, we call it FKK, it's like a nudist place, like people, even in the sauna, public sauna, it's a must. You cannot wear a bikini or bathing suits to go to a sauna in Europe, like in Sweden, Norway, Germany, because it's full of bacteria and it creates more fungus. So you can only enter with a towel, and no one cares because it's normal, and that's what I'm saying. So in other cultures, like my mom is Sri Lankan, if I go to Sri Lanka and I even go to with a bikini to the beach, men are just going crazy because they have a going on in their head, and then it's just the opposite way because they're not used to it, because that sexual energy is suppressed. Now what happened is, I told him, I said, in the end of the day, it's all about nature. If something is normal and the culture allows it, it can be very balanced and harmonized. If something is suppressed, it has to be very extreme on some other level, either addiction, alcohol, some other things, right? That's really important to understand. If you suppress something, if something is not balanced and natural, there's law of nature, there's a right and there's a wrong, which you cannot teach. It comes from the heart, you will feel it. So, hi Ashley, hi Alan. So, I told him that. I said, in the end of the day, it's about a woman gives birth to you, so it shouldn't be full of hate. If a man is gay or a woman is a lesbian, there's a reason for it. Maybe the father was beating up the mother, and then the woman said, hey, I don't want to be like my father ever, I just turn towards women. Or the guy says, hey, you know what, my father was an asshole, I never want to be like him, I just do it the other way, I want to be like more like a woman because I don't want to be like my father. So they're rejecting the male energy within themselves, right? But at the same time, being a man means, oh, you have to go to war, you have to do this, you cannot cry, you're not allowed to show emotions. So again, you're disconnected from being a masculine. Isn't it crazy in a way? So in the end of the day, it comes towards that it needs to be a natural balance. But what I wanted to say, have you noticed after the vaccine, when that went down and people found out what's going on, that remember what's inside here? I'm not saying everything, just use your own imagination. You can believe what I'm saying, you don't have to believe what I'm saying, it's up to you. The point is that there's something within that here, which they say has nanoparticles or magnets, but we have a north and a south pole. We have masculine and feminine. So let's say those magnets are inside our body, they shift the poles. That means there's something going on between the masculine and feminine within us. Have you noticed that this hype is like a huge hype, and it's shifting the poles and it's shifting their energies of being a human, which is not natural anymore, which is going against nature. And then you have all those operations. And what happens is when you have an operation and you're not the way you are anymore, like a puberty is a child is changing from being a child and going to being an adult. That means there's a shift and people are scared of changes. So parents' duty is to say, hey, you know what, it's normal to change, it's normal to have hair, it's normal that your voice changes, don't be scared, you don't need any hormone blocks, right? This is something which pharmacy and the world out there is doing to make money, but also to manipulate you. Please watch the movie Ugliest. Awesome on Netflix. Watch it, it makes total sense. Because when you change yourself and you operate it, and I have done 14 years of massage, I have worked with so many people who have done plastic surgery. It was crazy. It was like the whole body was reacting, that it's like an allergy. It was rejecting themselves, and they have to take a lot of tablets that the body is not rejecting the plastic and silicone and Botox and whatsoever. So those people are really struggling to love themselves. And yes, they can say, I don't want to be the way I am, I want to be something else. But in the end of the day, it is, if you can't love yourself and you do a plastic surgery, it's not going to make it better. In the end of the day, you're still going to suffer. But there's also something, if something is not natural, then the soul is missing. That's Antichrist. If people say, oh, Antichrist, if something is not natural anymore, something is not connected with the heart anymore. And those are soulless people, and people are saying the people who did this, the soul is disconnected from the body, so that means it's like an identity crisis when people can't feel themselves anymore, when people can't see themselves anymore, and they don't know what's right and wrong anymore. So there's nothing to shame them, but there's actually our duty is to help them to be loved and to feel right and to be accepted for who they are. Okay. So I do Starseed Activation, I do Healer Activation, I do inner mastery courses, one-on-one. I have done many in the past with many people. There have been many changes, very natural. So if you need any support, please let me know. And please also write comments under this video. I'm going to download it and put it on YouTube. This is of a private group. If you want to invite people, you have to do it because, as I said, it's private. Please share your inspiration. Please share your own experiences. And if you have any other questions, please write them in the comment section so I can make some more videos. I hope this video helped you because I find it very important. And in the end of the day, it's all about love, right? And that's why we are here. Bye, guys.